Let me let me share my screen. Okay. So we are going to cover chapter 21 today. That is the last chapter in this book. And we will try it. It's a small chapter. We will cover it, but we have some code example as well with us, so we'll go through them. Okay, and I explore some other options as well. Not some other option, something else. Okay, so I will discuss that one as well. So here we go. The book. Let's me open the. Was already open. Chapter 21. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
So we go chapter. We search the chapter. Oh. Chapter 21. Okay. Okay. So the one, let me enlarge my screen. So the 21 chapter, it the subject of this chapter, exploration and discovery. Okay. So if I did one more thing as well. I want to show you that if I can open it. Okay. I will not be. I need to in VPN on that one. I can tell you. This is a small chapter, but we'll just read this para and then we'll understand this its usage. So exploration and discovery. So this chapter explore pattern that enable intelligent agent to actively seek out the novel information, uncover new opportunities, possibilities, and identify unknowns within their operational environment. And exploration and discovery differ from the reactive behavior or optimization with a predefined solution space. Instead, they focus on the agent proactively venturing into the unfamiliar territory, experimenting with the new approaches, and generating the new knowledge and understanding. This pattern is crucial for the agent operating in an open-ended, complex, or rapidly evolving domain where static knowledge and pre-programmed solution are the insufficient. It emphasizes the agent's capacity to expand its understanding and capabilities. Okay, so this is the complete the heart of the chapter. But in the short, we see it is just like, okay, first thing, like, the prompt for to follow this pattern. So all the pattern that we know here, just nothing but like you are writing a prompt in a different way. So in this one chapter, when this pattern will come, when you will write a prompt in such a way that give the agent a capability to unfilm there's no proactively venture to unfamiliar territory, experiment with the new approaches. Okay, and it is open ended and complex things it can do it. Okay, that's where you will write the prompt. Now, okay, we can again come back to here. It is bit tough to understand, but if you go to the use cases and then code and prompt, then you will understand it easily what they are trying to say in this chapter. Okay, so the practical application and use cases where says AI agent possess the ability to intelligently prioritize and explore, which leads to application across various domains. By autonomously evaluating and ordering potential actions, these actions can navigate complex environment, uncover hidden insight, driven innovation. This capacity for prioritizing exploration enable them to optimize process, discover new knowledge, and new the generate content. Okay, and what are the use cases for this one? The use cases are for this one. Okay, second. Use cases: scientific research and automation. So if you need to do build a agent that will do some scientific research using automation, right? So that an agent design and run experiments, analyze results, formulate a new hypothesis, and discover the novel materials, drug candidate, and scientific and scientific principles. So what I will do, let me minimize it. Okay, we understand the theory, we understand the use case, and let's just see what they are trying to say as a part of it. Okay, then what I will do, if we go to the end-to-end evaluation hands-on coding. Okay, so directly, just to understand it in more, let's go to the hands-on the code that I wrote it. Okay, so I share the piece of the code in the group chat as well, and I not pushed it, actually I copied it. So the chapter 21, so we wrote, okay, research market, okay, game multi agent hypothesis. Okay, so this is the one of the LLM market is okay. So this is the one of the agent we wrote it based upon this pattern. So if you follow this one, what we are just trying to do it. Okay. So from top to bottom, I am just taking the OpenAI chat, the class from the LangChain framework, and just getting that model out of it. Okay, just creating one. This is just syntax to create it, and now see the differences. Okay, so this is one of the method is written, another method is written. Let's go one by one. Okay, how it is trying to do it. Okay, so the main code. Okay, the main code will start from here, like exploration pipeline. Can AI improve early disease detection? So this is kind of the research that you are asking a question, and based upon that you are building a agent in a such a way that it will give you some output. Okay, so how what it is doing. Okay, so first this one, like, exploration. So if you go to this method, this is the question that we gave it. Okay, so in the other cases, if we attach this to a our the use cases, something, some kind of the scientific research it is trying to do it. Okay, so if you understand the theory, that agent design experiment, it will formulate the result and hypothesis, something that it will build. Okay, so this is the example given in this one only. So I wrote this example with the help of the AI. Okay, that how it like, then try to make the understanding of it. So just like, one question we ask it, so this is kind of the research question. So if you go to this method and then see what it is saying. So this is just like, the code will start from here. This is the pipeline from start from here. So first thing, generate initial hypothesis, and then in the hypothesis I am just printable line, and I am writing, so that I give this topic, that topic I passed here, the same topic I give you the agent generate generation agent, there you will give the topic. Okay, so what you are writing it here, create initial hypothesis by exploring the topics. So you write the prompt, like, this is the multi-line string in the Python. You give the name as prompt, you write f. This is the Python syntax. The people are familiar, they can understand it, what is it trying to say it, but those are not, I'm just trying to explain it. Is f, if you give the f and give the multi-line code, and you're just telling the agent. So when you're trying the, it will do the research. So here the thing that we understand, like, it is not like then you doing the research and you're writing very complex code and writing the technology. No, nothing. You just tell in a sentence to the LLM, and the LLM will do it. LLM already knows, okay, all the knowledge inside it. The way you write the code to a particular problem, the way you write the code, that will become your pattern. So this is the pattern for it, like, generate 5 novel hypotheses about the following topics. Okay, and the topic you give it, so you pass the parameter, and hypothesis should be creative but plausible. Okay, and then this is the method to call the LangChain. You create the model and you call the invoke method on top of it, and you type the prompt, and it will give some result for it, and then you call the content method on this, it will give you the result from the LLM. So you will get the result. Okay, so when you will go here, then you got some hypothesis. Okay, you will print that hypothesis, and then this is the hypothesis we got it. Then what is reflection on the hypothesis? Okay, same hypothesis, the output, you ask a question, you put a question, and you put the question in a prompt. LLM gave you some output, and okay, yes sir, you have some question.
Yeah, rather I have a question. So, like in Chat GPT or other Gemini also, right? There is a deep research mode, right? So, um, if you are doing this kind of exploration, is there
Mhm.
a way to tell LLM that you want to do deep research, or it will automatically understand from the prompt?
Uh, okay. So, sir, based upon my understanding, that what I understood it, like, whatever the how the good model is there, you can ask the question it. But The output, obviously we can give the prompt. Okay, we can give the prompt to it. Okay, and it will give whatever the prompt you will give, it will react it. But the
Mhm.
difference will come, as per my understanding, how good reasoning model it is. Okay, so all this just like the small model GPT mini or something, just like GPT-4 mini, that the default model that we use it. If you ask anything to it, it give the answer, the basic answer. But if same thing you have the GPT-5, that is the reasoning model, it is good model, more parameters. Say more, same question you will get the different response and much broader response. The
Okay,
same
so
thing. Okay,
you're
the
saying that if you want to do a deep research, then pick a model that does deep research. It's not like there is not a deep research mode, or there is not a parameter to a model that says that do deep research for this prompt and do regular response for another prompt, right?
Yeah, kind of this one. You can ask the question and it will give the a response you will get based upon it. Okay, but the way the question that you answer, I want to just tell you some detail around it. Okay, so
Okay.
what was happening yesterday? I was just trying this agent. Okay, let me something. LLM is not market research. Okay, not hypothesis. This question I was trying it. Then I get to know that there is a deep research model are available in OpenAI. Okay, I corrected this one. Let me see. Local history, I think here only I had it. Okay, if you see, this is the code I was writing it and it was throwing giving me the error. Okay, I can
Hmm.
ratify it and then see. Okay, so what was happening, this is an, the thing that I learned it. And after the, you know uh, what I will say, I get to know that there is something around it. Okay, and I didn't know it, that there is some model to it. Okay, so here the model that we gave it earlier, the AI that gave that the code I generated for the market research, it by default it took this model only. Okay, O3 deep research model. These are the
Okay.
OpenAI deep research model. And when I was just trying to do, then I get this error message. I try to see. I thought there is something wrong with the way I give it, because it was giving me this error. Okay, so then I also here the thing about your organization must be verified to generate the reasoning summaries. Please go through this one. Okay, something like that they told me. I don't
Mm.
know what it was, and I just went it here. Some people familiar about it. That's good. Otherwise, they can understand. I will tell you that what I got. So when I go to my account, open API account, there it is asking like, if you want to use the deep research model, if you are a not a organization, like your organization, the account that you created, you need to identify the uh, what I will say, you need to identify, identity. You need to verify your identity. I know what is that exactly. So it is saying, just like, you need to go to this link, or it maybe I was asking, user ID, maybe the photo and other detail, then only I can use this model. Okay, that's what it was asking. So then I just read about this more, the deep research model, and I was exploring some the API as well, the list of the open API model. Okay, capability, API use cases, output, and there are the some model, there was model, list of model. Okay, and then I was trying to execute it. That's where it was giving. Then I get to know these are the GPT model, but they are having some deep research model as well. Something they are saying. Yeah, they are the GPT mini research. So they are having their own research model. What I understood out of it means, so there are already research model are there. If you give the prompt to them, they will give you the better result. You can ask the other GPT model, but you will not get maybe the better result. That's what the most of the, that is how we differentiate the model. Okay, so that may be the possible answer of your question, sir. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
what.
So basically, what you're saying is that if you're doing this exploration, this research kind of capability, for that you have to support a deep research model. There
Yeah,
is no
mm,
deep research model mode for any existing models, right? So it's just like matter of choosing the right model.
right, right. There is not a matter of yeah. There, okay. This is my question. But one thing I observed. Okay, let me tell you one more thing. Okay, this one, not this one. Let me see agent hypothesis. What I was doing it. Okay, not open API. Not open API. Let me. There is one option I saw, sir. Okay, let me go here. Open API. Open AI. Okay. If you go to the open AI, okay, open AI client. Okay, and I will bring this one. Just a second. Okay, give me a second. I will see you that option. I saw one option there. It was giving. If you go to here, like reasoning effort, okay. So there is already defined model. Yeah, this is the one, okay. There is a already option that where you can give, the prompt you can write, it can do the research, and you can use that is another way do the deep research. At the same time, already different model are there do it. But there is one parameter that I saw reasoning, how much reasoning you want to do. If you go inside it, let's see, I was just reading it. What doing the reasoning? What was the parameter name? Parameter name was reasoning. Okay. If you go to the parameter name reasoning, so it was giving the reasoning class. Okay, it is saying the reasoning. It will see option. It can omit or the reasoning. What does it say? If you go to the typing of it, it was seeing the reasoning total dictionary GPT-5 or O series model only. Okay, configuration option for, okay. So let's see. Try to see this. What does it says? Okay, constant effort reason for the reasoning model. Currently support are the non-minimal, low, high, and X high. Reduce the effort and can only win faster response and fewer token region response. GPT-5 is default none, which take them perform region to support the region value for GPT-5 are none. Low, medium, this one. All model before G20 default to the medium. This one. Low GPT-5, this one. Okay. Summary, this one. Okay. So this is the, if we read it out, then we can understand more it, that as it is saying this reasoning, the indicator come by default for GPT-5 only. So that's why I say GPT-5 or O series model are. Somebody is asking anything or getting?
Yeah, yeah. No, actually, I wanted to add one point. So regarding Google Gemini, we can access the deep research via supplying some additional parameter. Like the idea is that there are two parameters, like modes are there. One is the interaction. So if so, the idea is that there is something called as agent, and
Mhm.
if pass deep research as a parameter in that API, automatically the response would be of the nature of deep research. And if we just supply generate content as the parameter, then it will be a quick response. And this is for Google Gemini.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can hit the same API, just the parameter we have to tweak. So that is there in Google Gemini. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So yeah, it is similar to that only. It look like they have built it like, good model is there. If you ask simple question, you do the deep research. If you just like, other model like GPT-5, if you can provide the prompt, then it can give you the detail. But these model based upon this indicator as well. Okay. uh, Based upon the indicator as well, it can give, the this is having pretty much detailing, the sir question asked, then I, even I didn't know it, I just heard that it is some of, if you go to this link, I think there, reasoning models. Okay, if you read about it, this one will get the more detail around it. I can ping this link. Okay, give me a second. Yes, we can go around it. Okay, so yeah, coming back to the question where we were at. Okay, so like, so let's go here. So just like hypothesis, it will generate it, and that hypothesis, what time we are passing to the reflection, and now see the prompt for the reflection. Critically evaluate each hypothesis. Prompt, so again, prompt you are giving a review the following hypothesis for correctness, novelty, and the scientific use value. Okay, the prompt that you give, provide the critics for the each, and then and then again you are calling and use the language and you are providing the prompt, and then you are, getting the output for the reflection. Okay, so you got the output here, some review got it. After whatever the review got, you print that review. Okay, and then you say ranking hypothesis, same hypothesis you passed it here, and see the prompt for the hypothesis. Rank the hypothesis from the strongest to weakest and explain your the reasoning. Okay, so that prompt you give it, so that you will get it. You got it ranked, and then evaluate hypothesis. In the ranked, it is saying that, you are splitting by line, you are getting the first hypothesis, and that hypothesis you got the top hypothesis, and then you are evaluating that hypothesis, and then you want to see the reason. Okay, take the following hypothesis and improve it, and then again you are, and make it clear, testable, and more innovative. That's it, you passed it. Okay, and that's how it you ended, and you improved the one you passed it, and you printed it. So if you see, now go back to the the subject, explanation, and use cases, and how we implemented it. So the exploration and the some theory around it. Okay, and then one of the use cases around it, then we build the use cases using this one, and so here the completely simple, based upon the one, you are just writing the prompt, and then you are getting the output. But based upon the use cases, you need to design your code, that, which part you want to do, the way you did it. Okay, That's the beauty, or I will say that's being when you're developing agent. That's what you need to keep in mind. What are your use cases, which pattern it can fit it, and based upon the pattern, that how you are going to break those the complete problem into the pieces, and how you are going to write the prompt. Okay, that is all about it. If you just to make it generic, to generate the code further. Okay, so I can do one thing, like I can, let me debug this code. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm not doing. Okay, so let's debug this code and see.
So the gist of this pattern, I think we have to create multiple agents based on our problem statement if we want to research. Because when you just talk about in the beginning the exploration discovery, then immediately my mind went like that's what I do in my security discovery, and then I saw like there is one use case which talks about security discovery and security vulnerability discovery. So
uh, uh, okay, just 1 second, sir. Okay, sir, I let me 1 second. Okay, I need to load the my code. Okay, give me a second. Sorry, my bad. And I will answer your questions. Okay, okay, just a second. I was doing something. 1 second. Diva. Open API key must be set. Okay. Just a minute. It was running. Some error came all of a sudden. Okay. I will run the, we'll see the error at the end. Let me cover the theories, okay? And then we'll run the code. I need to fix it, but I just let me cover the theory. Then we'll. So the complete one is like, I will give, so the output, I'm just getting some error. And then so this is the one of the use cases. That is how you write the prompt, and you will next focus on the next one, okay? Gaming, playing, and strategy. That agent explore game states, discover one of the use cases like discovering emergent strategy and identifying vulnerability in the game environment, like AlphaGo, some game is right. So I asked that AI just to write even some code for it. So it gave me this code. Okay, this code is related to tech 2. I'm not much familiar about the one, okay, but what that I can understand it, like it is all about writing the prompt. So if you just like the mock generated strategy for players, so this is the way they write the, it is just like writing the strategy based upon that how you will, so this is the not AI code, like you created a strategy list of the strategy, it will return it like, so it is one class that give name and description, and then you are creating list of the strategy, like center corner, then what you need to do, right corner, then what you need to do, single what you do, just like you play the chess or any game you play, so you will design the strategy, these things you will do it, okay? And then mock the strategy, it got it, and then baseline some strategy it gave it, and then one by strategy it will think, then evaluate the strategy. So where we need to focus, like wherever it is writing something, let me see, when I didn't run this code because I didn't understand the output of it. Let me see, AI code it here anywhere. Okay, I think this case is not useful for us because you don't have any AI anywhere, it is just simply the coding. Okay. I didn't train it. I can park it aside, but what I can understand it, like based upon the different input you will give it. This one is maybe, okay, we can skip it. Okay, we'll see. I will learn it. I can, coming to the market research and trending spots. The same thing. Agent can unstructured data, social media, news report, identify trend and consumer behavior or the market opportunities. Okay. So I also asked the him to write the code for it, but here it is bit different. I was able to run this piece of code. I say GPT-5 model. I can give, okay, GPT-5. we'll try to run it, but let's see the flow of it. Okay, so the main code will start from here. If we extract, so if you see, load the properties, code the end. So here then we will write it like, this one is written using OpenAI. Okay, and I was facing some challenges. I will explain that what are the things were there for this one. Okay, so when you will write the code, so here you are just writing the prompt, the system prompt you write it. You are a senior market intelligent analyst. You produce a structured data driven market research report that identify key trend, growth driver and the risk, compare major competitor, highlight this one and this one, something like, you tell it. So this system prompt that we know, when we, whenever we create any agent or write a prompt, so it is just like a writing a prompt, like writing the agent as well. So you, when you create the system prompt, just like you are telling the agent LLM that how it need to behave. Okay, so that you define some kind of the system, and then in that system, related to that system only, you ask the questions, right? Okay, first you assign that who are you and what you will do. Okay, you set it up its ages or its boundary. Okay, using system prompt, then that boundary only you ask the question. Okay, analyze the global trend of the PLG1 and something. Okay, these are the point you write, another prompt you write it, and they both work together. This is the superset, inside that this will work. Okay, so if we go to, okay, this is the not a modular code, but it is writing like, so when you cut GPT-5 model and you will give the input here. Okay, so when you will give the input, like, you give it the role content, and you provide the text and the system message you give, then you give the user, and then from that one you will get the response. Okay, and once you get these responses, so based upon, you give the prompt, you give to the model, so model give the output to you, and based upon that model you will do the you will print it, and then you will inspect it. Okay, that you are just doing some thing around it. So when the pattern of, again coming to the discovery pattern, where it comes, like, in one line, if I will say the how the pattern are related, implemented, the prompt that you write it, it is a open-ended prompt. Okay, that is not open-ended prompt means just like you give a generic sentence to it, right? Okay, you go and you do the research. So agent LLM itself will discover, it will go to the internet, it is in knowledge or whatever maybe, and then it will give you the output. There you are not asking him a straightforward question where you don't need to think. So the prompt, the way you write it, where it need to discover and need to think. So just like, this is the prompt, it for that one, it need to think, you need to do the research or something more, you need to dig it more. It is different from like one line answer. If you ask what is the capital of India, no need to think, simple, like, okay, capital of India is in Delhi. Okay, that's it. But if you ask the same question, then need to think, it need to go, and and then need to generate the response. Okay, so if you see, like, the one you define the prompt, and then it will go here, and then it will generate the output. Okay, and based upon that you are just printing that output, that's it. So it fit into this one, market research. Based upon that you write. Okay, somebody is asking.
Yeah, so I have one query.
Mm.
Like when we give the prompt using this API or some framework, will it be stateless or state will be maintained? Meaning to say that, okay, what prompt I gave it, will it remember it?
Yeah, it can. Okay, so now coming to your question. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll answer, will deep dive it anyhow. This is a small chapter, so we can take the time over there. Okay, next one is meta review. This is similar to, now it is repeating, but less coming to that one. Okay, okay. So I was just getting some error, and I tell that what I did, some, finding some issue, I fixed it. I just try to explain that issue it, so it will be helpful for you guys to do to the hands on it. Okay, so coming to here, so every time, whenever we are writing the code, so sometime I didn't write the code using a single one. Okay, I asked the AI and they give me the different one. So earlier my code was their hypothesis, it was using the LangChain framework. Okay, from there you take this class, pass the OpenAI model to it, and then you call the llm.invoke. Okay, and you will get the output for it. Okay, coming to here, so where it is written like, game, not game playing study, market research. Here it gave me the code using the OpenAI. Okay. So where OpenAI client you did it, the way you pass this client, you can pass to the LangChain, and again you can execute it. But OpenAI also got advanced data. There you can also write the agent, you can also do the prompting and the SDK code, everything you did. So these prompts are based upon the OpenAI one. Okay. Now I didn't answer your question yet. Okay, then I'm just building the ground, that if you need to run this code by on, or you need to explain the code, then what problem you may encounter, what thing you need to keep in mind. Okay. So when I was just exploring this one, so I am just telling this one, although this is not the an answer of your question, that Open API recently created okay, let's go to the Open API documentation. Okay, so this documentation I was exploring in the morning, because I got some error that some places it was giving me the client.chat.completion, somewhere it was giving me a client.response then create. Okay, then I got confusion, what the difference, why it is like that. Okay, so there if you go to the Open API migration. Okay, so what the difference, they earlier when Open API in the starting they build it, they gave the open chat completion. Okay, now they have created a new API that they are calling as a client.responses one. Okay, so there is the difference, chat.completion, now it is responses dot only responses. Okay, so there if you follow this documentation, it is bit different, it is telling how you will do it, different way of it. Okay, there you will get one option to remember the state. Okay, so there is a parameter of how I will jump you directly there, only will tell you okay, how it will remember it. Okay, see if you see this piece of code. Okay, you give this one chat GPT and it is using update multi turn conversation. Okay, so you told the system prompt role, system and content that you are this one and what is the capital of France. Okay, and you will get the response one. Okay, chat dot completion GPT-5, you got the response one. In the response dot one, the choices dot message from where you will get the output. There you are attaching that to that messages. Okay, and in that one only you are giving its population. Then it is saying France. Okay, its population it will give. That is how you are. You ask the question and then you did it. Okay, but when it come to here, okay, here you see the word state. Okay, if you pass this as true, it will store your state. So if you see the response, this is from the response one. Client create, you ask the GPT-5 what is the capital of France, and you give the store true. Okay, so it will store the state. Next time you are asking, and it is population, and there you are
Yeah,
passing as res.id. Then based upon the previous response, it will give you
uh,
the answer. And
yeah, nice. So
okay,
this I think they have introduced recently, I guess.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
that's what I'm telling you. Really, yesterday I was getting the error, and
yeah.
I really got
Because six
confused.
months ago, I like made some very cool applications in Gemini. So
Hmm.
there I suffered this problem that no state was there. Every time, whenever I'm hitting that LLM, I have to give the entire like the previous responses also as the prompt, like they did in the first example.
Yeah, right. And you were building it all the time. The Google, they may have implemented the similar way, but the Open API,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
initially it came, that time it is what they are saying it will remember. But later on, they enhance data. So the once you open the session, then it can, it can remember all your previous conversation. It can answer it. So now
Yeah, yeah,
it
it's
is
like a very interesting feature. Yeah, nice.
yeah,
Thank you.
I think it is storing in a better way. Okay. So coming to this one, okay, okay, if
Uh,
you go here.
राधा जी, आई हैड ए पॉइंट। अभी कुछ समय पहले हम लोग एक डिस्कस कर रहे थे ना कि देयर आर वेज टू मेक श्योर कि कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो का जितना भी स्पेस है वो कंज्यूम नहीं हो रहा है, राइट? यूजिंग सम storing the scripts in a outside report, something like that, right? There was some, we had some research topic on that. तो जब हम ये रिस्पॉन्स जो है स्टोर कर रहे हैं तो ये कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो में स्टोर होगा ना?
ऑनेस्टली सर आई कैन नॉट आंसर दैट सीरियसली। वो थोड़ा मैंने समझा था लेकिन डिटेल में पढ़ा नहीं है।
Here I can like give some insights. Context window, like it specifies the length of input which we can give to the LLM. it can be 256K tokens.
Mhm.
अच्छा.
So that is the idea of context window. Like in one hit, how long the input can be. Like
Okay.
when you're hitting the LLM, you're giving an input prompt. So the length of the input prompt is the context window length,
Not the
the size.
the response tokens are not in the contained there, stored there.
No, no, no.
मुझे लगता है कि शायद वो उसी जगह स्टोर होने चाहिए, क्योंकि जो कितना याद कर सकेगा, वो उसकी जो विंडोज
So
होगी कुछ तो
yeah,
फील्ड होगा कि इतनी चलो याद कर लेगा कुछ तो वैसे तो वैसे
earlier,
हो तो
yeah,
Okay,
earlier
देखिए
we had this problem. Like earlier, what problem we had, since it was not remembering the state, whatever response it used to give, we used to append it in the next input prompt. So ultimately, the context window size used to be very large because of the statelessness nature of the LLM. But now, like sir mentioned, they have introduced this state thing.
yeah, I think if you're calling in this case, right? In this example, you're calling another LLM after this, right? From this from output of the previous LLM call. So you have to include the output of previous LLM call in the context of the next call. So yeah, in a way, it's actually adding to the context.
yeah, right, right, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so coming to just telling this one, like,
Yeah. Thank you.
the you were asking, like, so what I did actually, I was just along with the reading this chapter, I was just exploring this one, the open API documentation, the migration documentation as well. Like, so they given the really cool stuff just to compare one. So though if you are dealing with the, or the earlier you are writing using chat completion, you need to, that is recommended, but still it is supported, but it is the better one. Okay, the better the way it is, you are writing the code. Okay, once this chapter is also kind of finished it, I whatever I learned out of it, I can just share that extra knowledge on top of it. Okay, so coming to, I will come to this API later on. So the same thing, like, evaluation of quotient test. Okay. So use cases like creative content generation and personal education. So I asked to generate the some other code as well. So this was the one of the code, hypothesis one, market research, and I did this one. This code also, it generated nice code. It is very easy to follow. Like, what is saying, security vulnerability, how it will generate it. Okay, so if you see, it is pretty much, those people are working security vulnerability, they can understand it, that how it is doing it. So generally we got the security vulnerability, based upon the code you will understand it, and not the content. Your somebody scan your code, and they will give you the number. Okay, this your code, it is fitting into the particular vulnerability, you need to fix it. Okay, but the code, the way this pattern, you can write some code using this pattern that can identify the vulnerability in your code as well. Okay, so the way it was there, let's see the code it gave. Okay, I gave the one repo. Okay, in that repo, what it was doing, like, scan the repo. Okay, so if you see the scan the repo, the code is written like, you will go to the source path and you will open the file, and each and every line and chunk of the content, line by line, pages by pages, it is doing it, and it will all loading into one finding. Okay, the list, if you see the finding, find a start line, end line, severity, and something it was doing it. Okay, if you see, let me see again, uh, scan the repo, finding it, created it, and the source file. Okay, iterate source file means each and every file it is taking it. If you see the source file, how it is writing the code, if you go to this code, take the directory file path and take that directly and get each and everything. So, okay, and then you get the file path, you open it, and then start line by line and chunks. In the chunk code it writes. So in the chunk code, that's where it write, like, next now chunk line by line it is taking it, line by line it was taking. Let me see where it was doing it. Okay, let's see. Here. Okay, if you see this code, the review code. Okay, so what it is doing, like, you got the chunk, and each and every, so you got the repo, you go to the every file and pages. Okay, and you created some chunk, that chunk you are giving to the LLM, and what the prompt you are writing it here, system prompt. Okay, security system prompt you give. You are a senior application security engineer, that you made that role. Okay, then review the given chunks, code chunk, potentially security weakness and security pattern, and then you are writing the prompt, what you need to do and how you need to classify the complete, line of you wrote it, okay, and then you wrote it, okay. So the moment you will give it, what it will do, this code started, so you give this code and you get the, particular chunk, right? And from the finding you are getting, and you write it again user prompt, the again you are giving the user prompt to it, okay. And then you are creating the create dot responses, and then you are passing the, o series, another model appropriate to your environment. That's what, o model, the more, the more reasoning model, okay. There you are giving the input, okay, the developer, you are trying security prompt, and then you are a user prompt, and reasoning you put the low to it, and you are getting the response from it, okay. And that response you got it, and you putting it somewhere, and then later on you are summarizing it, okay, summarizing it, and you are just generating the report. So in your code, using this pattern, you can develop some utility using LLM that can identify the various vulnerabilities or something there in your code, and you can apply the fix for it. It was because we work in this environment day by day. So I really like this example. We should try to execute. I just wrote it. I yet to be executed. Some error was there, so I didn't do it. But we can fix it maybe. I can fix it. But the code was really nice. If you compare your the theory and the, this theory, and see the corresponding code to it, really it is a good example. Okay, and coming to the next one, like. For creative content generation, I did for the creative content generation as well. So now the same code only, but if you see the prompt, okay, creator system, you are a creative content agent, your job is to do this, and you will do this one, okay, and user goal is this one, and then you will refine, then you will pass that prompt, you will get the output, and something again you trying to refine it, okay. It was doing here a bit different, like, create prompt, user goal, you will draft it, and you will refine it, okay. And that's what it is, as the theory says, okay. Same thing, personal education training, I didn't do that for personal training for it, okay. So again, to summarize this chapter, based upon the, theory, your use cases, see, when in the real time, in your code, how which pattern you can apply, okay. Just see your problem, try to see which pattern it can follow, and based upon that pattern you need to write a prompt, and then write a structure of the code, and then you can, you can generate the output, okay. That's what we can utilize this pattern, okay. Yeah, so that's it. This is all about this chapter, and I can tell you something extra that I, while writing this code, I get to know about it, like, so Open API, I was just exploring the other framework, like LangChain, Agno, LangChain I explored, Agno I did it, ADK I did, and N8, I little bit just to do it, okay. But what the observation I feel, all of them are following the same pattern only, okay, same concept. Only the library and certain things are the different, little bit different, and you can choose any one of the framework, okay, and you can follow the same approach, the way it is written, and some of them are not there, you just go inside the code and understand it, what they are talking about it, okay. I explored this documentation of this one, the Open API. I need to finish it. I just gone through a little bit, but it will be really good insight that if you follow this complete documentation, writing the code for any other framework, or what the different, the pattern for it, it will be really helpful, okay. And one thing that I understand it, just to the we are writing the code, like, chat completion is deprecated. This is the new one only. And here the difference that you need to see, okay, one the important thing I want to tell you, wherever the 2 3 places we were writing the code, and we were writing this concept, right, system prompt, the user prompt, okay. System prompt, this completion API, like, every time you need to tell how your system prompt will be, means what will be the role of the model side. At the same time, you tell from the user side as well, that user, what the user is typing, that two things you used to combine and used to get the output. After migrating to the responses one, if you write the single line, so here what it is writing, like, it is telling the role to the user, and then typing the content, and then it will getting the response. But here, you type the model, only you write the sentence. Based upon that, it will understand the role, that who is asking and what it needs to be done. Okay, and here the output will come in the form of completion choices and the 0 1 and the message and content. Here you will get the response and output text. Okay, so if you generate any code using the open API, if it is hallucinating, if it giving the different output to it, then you need to make sure that how you are providing the input. Okay, that how the width, this the difference that you need to understand between the response one and this one. There are the some differences that they gave it, and it is really good. So most of the cases we write, but this one, it is kind of the union. It can take different kind of the, if you follow this documentation, you will understand. So yeah, that's it from my side. If any question, we can clarify it, or if you have time, I can execute this code as well. I was just getting there. If you know question and have the time, we can execute the code as well. And this code I already okay.
So Mohanji, can you share the link of that where
This code I
not for this code, for that where in the OpenAI platform we are discussing about na कि we have a concept of state वाला.
वो वाला ये लिंक जो स्टेट वाला है वो ये है सर, ठीक है। जो माइग्रेशन वाला डॉक्यूमेंट का लिंक नहीं शेयर कर रहा हूँ मैं, लिंक बताता हूँ। इसमें देखो कि इसमें ये वाली लिंक है, यू कैन जस्ट गो देयर एंड सी। ओके, और बाकी अगर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन में डायरेक्ट अगर फॉलो करोगे ना, ठीक है, तो इस पे रेस्पॉन्स पे क्लिक करके जाओ ना, ठीक है, तो यहीं पे इसी के अगर थोड़ा सा हल्का सा फॉलो करोगे ना, तो आप समझ जाओगे कि क्या कैसे है, ठीक है। उसमें सारे ऑप्शन दिए, स्ट्रक्चर आउटपुट कैसे करना है, तो यहीं पे जो स्टेट का है, तो अच्छा ये माइग्रेशन वाला ये वाला दिया था कि
तो ये क्या GPT-5 पे ही चलता है क्या, कि पहले वाले पे भी चलेगा?
नहीं सब पे चलेगा वो, बल्कि GPT-5 का उन्होंने दिया है एक एग्जांपल से, ठीक है। कोई सा भी मॉडल आप लगा सकते हैं, GPT-5 और GPT-4 मिनी, उस पर भी लगा सकते हैं। और अगर क्वेश्चन नहीं हो, और अगर कोई और क्वेश्चन है, किसी एनीबॉडी वांट टू आस्क एनी क्वेश्चन और एनी डाउट इन द कोड, और
तो अभी तक जो इस चैप्टर को समझ में आया है, तो मेन ब्रेन तो लगता है कि हम लोग को अपने लगाना पड़ेगा कि मतलब हाउ यू डिफाइनिंग योर ओन एजेंट टू डू द एक्सप्लोरेशन डिस्कवरी, राइट? लाइक हाउ वी आर डिफाइनिंग आवर ओन प्रॉम्प्ट्स फॉर ईच क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग तो हमें खुद ही प्रोवाइड करनी होगी इधर।
हाँ, वो ये कि अगर सिंपल भाषा में देखो सर, तो ये कि अपना यूज केसेस देखो तुम, ठीक है, हाँ, और फिर यूज केसेस के बेसिस पे पूरी बुक में ये देखो कि कौन सा वाला पैटर्न तुमको फॉलो करेगा, ठीक है। उसी के बेसिस पे अपना प्रॉम्प्ट डाल लो, या खुद ही एआई को पूछ लो कि मेरा यूज केसेस से गिव मी कौन सा पैटर्न फॉलो कर सकता है, उस पे यूज केसेस लगेगा, फिर उसके बेसिस पे आप अपना प्रॉम्प्ट उसी हिसाब से लिख दो और फिर डाल दो। जो मेन अप्रोच है ना उसमें ये है कि आपको प्रॉम्प्ट कैसे लिखना है, और प्रॉम्प्ट पूरी वन शॉट प्रॉम्प्ट तो नहीं हो सकता, राइट? मल्टीपल पीसेस में आपको डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा, राइट? कि पहले ये करेंगे फिर ऐसा करके कर लेंगे थोड़ा थोड़ा, ठीक है। वहां पे थोड़ा दिमाग लगाना पड़ता है, तो वहीं पे आपको उतना ही सोचना है कि हाँ, कि कैसे अपनी प्रॉब्लम को कैसे प्रॉम्प्ट लिखा जाए, कौन सा पैटर्न फॉलो करें, और उसी के बेसिस पे अपना मतलब कर लें आउटपुट के, ऐसे करना पड़ेगा। जैसे ये वाला कोड जो था, ठीक है, ये हाइपोथेसिस वाला था, ठीक है। अब जो लोग करते हैं हाइपोथेसिस उनको तो मालूम है, अगर मैं अपनी बात करूं तो हमने तो कभी नहीं करी मैं हाइपोथेसिस, राइट? ये वाली कि हाइपोथेसिस शायद इन स्टेप में होती है कि पहले तुम हाइपोथेसिस बनाते हो, फिर उसका रिफ्लेक्शन लेते हो, ठीक है, फिर उनको रैंक करके तब जाके एक रिसर्च पेपर बना के तैयार करते हो, राइट? तो ये यूज केसेस तुम्हारा हो सकता है, जो भी बंदा, जैसे आप एजेंट बना रहे हो, तो ये चीज को आपको इसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग उस बंदे को होगी कि मेरे को करना क्या क्या है एग्जैक्टली, ठीक है। जैसे ये वाला था, जैसे कि सिक्योरिटी एंड वल्नरेबिलिटी वाला अगर देखोगे ना, तो ठीक है, ये कोड में बड़ी इजीली समझ गया, लेकिन ये मेरे लिए थोड़ा हार्ड, थोड़ा टाइम लगा समझने में। मार्केट रिसर्च वाला ही समझ गया, लेकिन गेम वाला मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया बिल्कुल, ना तो मैंने ये गेम खेला है कभी, ठीक है, वो इसमें यही कोड है ही नहीं है, और ना मैंने ये गेम खेला, मेरे को गेम ही समझ में नहीं आया, तो कोड कैसे समझूंगा? कोड इसका ये समझ में आ गया इस वाले का, क्योंकि रोज का काम है ये, ठीक है, कि क्या कर रहा है, एक फाइल को उठा रहा है, उसी को फिर तुमने एलएलएम को दे दिया, उसी की रिपोर्ट बना के तैयार कर दी कि ये तुम्हारी वल्नरेबिलिटीज हो गई उसकी, ठीक है। तो ऐसा हो गया। बाकी पूरी बुक में अगर जाऊं, दिस बुक नाउ अगेन आई एम गोइंग बैक फ्रॉम स्टार्टिंग, तो अभी थोड़ा अब ज्यादा चीजें समझ में आने लगी हैं, सो आई विल जस्ट ट्राई टू जनरेट द वे, जैसे 21 का किया है, ये मेरा प्लान है कि ज्यादातर दूसरे चैप्टर हैं उनके लिए भी सारे यूज केसेस का अलग अलग करूँ तो एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग बन जाएगी, इस केस में ये लगा देंगे, इस केस में ऐसे लगा देंगे, कौन किधर कौन सा वाला किधर ओवरलैप करेगा और कहाँ पे जाके कैसे करके होगा। ठीक है, जैसे मैं अपनी आज बात बोलूँ कि जितने भी ये लिख रहा था, ये थोड़ा नेक वाला हो जाएगा कि ये मैं थोड़ा ये ओपन एपीआई वाली जो मेरे को एरर आई ना, तो बाकायदा मैंने नोटबुक बना के थोड़ा-थोड़ा करके पीसेस रन करके देखा, ठीक है? तो काफ़ी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बनी कि अच्छा ये है, इसमें ये दे सकते हैं, देन हाउ गेट टू नो द पैरामीटर। जैसे ये वाला पैरामीटर था ना, बोले कि ये स्टेट वाला क्या है, वो स्टेट वाला पैरामीटर या वो रीजनिंग वाला, मैंने डॉक्यूमेंटेशन में नहीं पढ़ा, मैं तो केवल यहाँ गया देखने, तो ये पैरामीटर पढ़ रहा था मैं, ठीक है? कि क्या कहते हैं पैरामीटर पढ़ रहा था कि कौन-कौन से हैं और ये वो वाला मॉडल तो मेरे को आज ही पता लगा कि एक एपीआई वगैरह दिया, पोस्टमैन का एपीआई डाउनलोड करा मैं बाहर से, ठीक है? पोस्टमैन का ये था कि पोस्टमैन देखना चाहता था कि एक्चुअली में रिस्पॉन्स आता है तो क्या-क्या रिस्पॉन्स बन के आता है, ठीक है? यहीं पे जैसे कि एक जो थी ना ये वाली यूज़ केसेस वाली, चैट कंप्लीशन का एक आउटपुट देखो यहाँ पे ऐसे मैंने ये आउटपुट रन करने की कोशिश करी थी, ठीक है? यहाँ देखो तो यही बात कर रहे थे ना जैसे कि ऐसे आएगा, ये आईडी भी होती है, चैट कंप्लीशन है, ऑब्जेक्ट आता है, ये वाला मॉडल है, चॉइसेस में ये आता है, ऐसे करके रहता है, ठीक है? फिर यूसेज क्या देखो कितने प्रॉम्प्ट टोकन कितने लिया, जैसी बात चली यार कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो कितनी होगी, क्या होगी, ठीक है? तो देखो अगर इसमें देखोगे तो प्रॉम्प्ट में 53 टोकन गए हैं और कंप्लीशन में 39 आया है, यानी सिंपल बोले 53 वर्ड भेजे, 39 वापस आए और टोटल 9 to 2 में हिसाब-किताब हो गया बराबर, ठीक है? ओके। तो अगर ये इससे ये चीज़ समझ में आई कि हाँ, टोकन प्रॉम्प्ट का कुछ तो मतलब है और क्या होता है, जैसे भी क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे कि अरे वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो में कितना फिट होगा, मेरा मानना शायद ये है कि ये कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो ही होती होगी जितने में जाता होगा और वो शायद काफ़ी लेंथ बड़ी होती होगी। तो जो ये नंबर बन के जाते होंगे उसी में फिट हो जाते होगा कि कॉन्टेक्स्ट लेंथ इतनी है, ठीक है? और इतने टोकन गए हैं, आए हैं।
Radha Mohanji, I have a question related to your security example, right? So I'm assuming it is static scan, right?
हाँ,
So
वो स्टैटिक स्कैन ही है। अगर वैसे अगर रन करके देखें सर, तो स्टैटिक स्कैन ही है। अगर तुम उसको देखोगे तो वो यही कर रहा है, पता है कि स्कैन जा रहा है, चंक बना रहा है। यहाँ देखो ना रिव्यू कोड,
It's just reviewing the code.
रिव्यू कर
yeah,
रहा है।
right. So my my follow-up question is, did you try fixing that? Like, let's say it find 10 security vulnerabilities with some score, right? CVSS score. So I mean, it has access to repo, right? So I mean, can it fix also? I'm just asking, right? Because that is one of the biggest advantage right now. Not only finding the security vulnerabilities, but it can go and fix. For example, if you have some old library, it can replace it, right?
हाँ, ये करा जा सकता है,
Mm-hmm.
हो सकता है, लेकिन आपको केवल यही समझना है, ऑब्वियसली कर सकते हैं उसको कि ये जिस तरीके से हम कोड लिख रहे हैं ना, उसी अप्रोच को बता देना है। अगर ये पूरे कोड की अगर ये पैटर्न अप्रोच समझो, तो बड़ा सा अच्छा लगा कि अरे हाँ, वो बोल रहा है कि हाँ, रिपोर्ट लेंगे, एक फाइल को उठाऊँगा, ठीक है? फिर उसमें से फाइल निकालूँगा, फिर उसको उसकी रिपोर्ट बनाऊँगा। अगर थोड़ा और एक्सटेंड कर देता हूँ उसको, एंड इफ आई विल समराइज़ इट मोर, आई कैन डू द चेंजेस एज़ वेल, ओके? आई कैन राइट द प्रॉम्प्ट या कुछ थोड़ा
Yeah.
वी जस्ट नीड टू प्ले अराउंड विद one and I need to debug it and then I can do it. तो ये यूज केसेस देखो, ये यूज केसेस काफी ऐसा यूज केस है कि जैसे आपको रियलिटी में जो यूज हो रहा है ना एप्लीकेशन, हाउ देयर यू कैन, अगर इसी कोड को अपने हिसाब से और खुद सोचो, ठीक है, और पैटर्न लगाओ तो इसको रियली में अपने यूज के हिसाब से एजेंट बना सकते हो तुम, ठीक है? then the agent can you build it. अगर मैं अपनी बात करूं तो हो सकता है ऑब्वियसली, अगर मैं अपनी बात करूं जैसे कि लास्ट टाइम आई वाज टेलिंग दैट ये राउटिंग पैटर्न इसमें सेकंड चैप्टर में मेंशन करा है, उसका इस्तेमाल करके आई एम बिल्डिंग सम एजेंट, सपोर्ट एजेंट इन माय कंपनी, वेयर आई नो कि बेस्ड अपॉन जैसे रिक्वेस्ट आती है ना, उसके बेसिस पे मैं क्लासिफाई करूंगा और उसके बेसिस पे देन आई विल राइट ए प्रॉम्प्ट एंड देन आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग द एक्शन, ओके, एंड देन आंसरिंग द पीपल इनटू द यूजर इन ए नेचुरल लैंग्वेज। ऐसे फिक्स करने वाला सपोर्ट का एजेंट बहुत सारा, अगर थोड़ा अपनी यूज के हिसाब से आप क्लिक करोगे, then you can build the agent, okay? That's what the whole world is, not whole world, all the company, everyone is trying to do it। अपना यूज केस समझो और उसके हिसाब से तुम्हें कैसे प्रॉम्प्ट लिखना है, थोड़ी कैसे अपना सोच बनानी है,
Okay, very nice. Got it. Thank you.
मेरा क्वेश्चन है, एनीवन कैन आंसर प्रॉब्ली। जो वल्नरेबिलिटी जैसे इस एजेंट ने ढूंढ ली, राइट, लिस्ट आउट कर दिया, उसके बाद उनको फिक्स करने के लिए आइडियली शुड वी डेवलप सम टूल्स और शुड वी अलाउ एजेंट टू फिक्स देम बाय itself based upon its LLM knowledge?
देखो, अगर मैं सर एक बात बताऊँ आपको कि चलो कोई और आंसर करना चाहता है, दे कैन डू इट, अदरवाइज
सो मेरा एक इंसाइट है इसमें, like we have been seeing ki VS Code में we can integrate Gemini, Cloud, like the tools wherein LLM can very easily look into all our entire project in one go. It can give suggestions, it can fix there itself. It will just tell you that okay, these corrections are needed to done. आप उसको okay कर दो. It will do the correction. It will write the code for you. That is, we can just integrate Gemini or Claude inside our work environment, development environment, like the VS Code. So that is there.